Good morning. Hi, Kitty. I am well. How are you? Happy Sunday to you. Happy to have you here. All right, I'm going to give it a few minutes. Good morning. Happy to have you here. I don't know that I've seen your name before. Camille, welcome. Happy Sunday to you. All right. Giving it a few minutes. I was late posting this morning. Good morning, Darlene from Serbia. Welcome. Hello, Linda. Happy Sunday. Happy to have you here. All right, I'm going to give it another minute. I'm going to do my intro and then we can kick it off. I was late posting this morning. Hello, Crystal. Happy Sunday. How are you? All right, I'm going to do my kickoff and then we can get started. Let me get my stuff right. It's a shame when you try to get stuff lined up and you still have it messed up. Anyway, good morning, good afternoon, depending on your location. My name is Jewel Pearson. This is Miss Bohemian Soul TV. This is Creating Home, a tiny house series. And we are about to kick off the community conversation where we're just literally gathering and sharing in community. There are two other segments, the What's Your Question segment where I'm answering frequently asked tiny house questions, and then the Conversations on Intimate Spaces where I am interviewing a guest, and we'll have a guest next Sunday. And then I'm also working on some content for the What's Your Question segment. As I introduce myself, I always say that I built a kind of fancy tiny house in 2015, and since that time, I have shared my journey to hopefully inspire others who are interested in the movement. I do offer coaching and consultations to help others in their tiny house journey. And once this video goes live, you'll be able to find all of those links to schedule with me in the video description below. And as I'm doing all of that, I serve up a lot of representation in the movement. I do want us to see ourselves and be represented here and be successful in the movement. Always my intent to build literal and figurative community. And so I hope that if you find this video helpful, you'll like it, you'll share it, you'll subscribe to the channel, and then turn on the notification so that you'll know when content is live and what we're doing over here so you can stay in tune. All right, let me go back. I see some folks have joined. Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Crystal. Crystal is on it early. Hello, WLJ. I'm glad to have you back for your second week. Good afternoon to you. Happy Sunday, Rosalind. Good morning, Moesha from Austin, Texas. Good morning, Belinda. Happy to have you here. Good morning, A Path to Green. Happy to have you. Hey, Day. Good morning from Miami. Miss BD, how are you? Good morning. Good morning. Good afternoon, Cynthia. So I get all confused between saying good morning and good afternoon. But for some of y'all, it's morning. For some of us, it's afternoon, 4 minutes into the afternoon. But happy Sunday. Good morning. Good afternoon. Hello, Teresa. It's a full house. Let's see. Darlene is saying, you have inspired me, especially your decorating style. Thank you so much, Darlene. I appreciate that. Happy Sunday and welcome. Good morning, Judith. Happy Sunday, Teresa. Muse Incorporated. Good morning from Wyoming. Happy to have you all here. It's a full house today. Thank you all for being here. Hello, Soul Collective family. I hope everybody is well. I'm a little tired. I think I look tired too today. Let's see. Happy Sunday, High Vibe. I I am prepping. I think most of y'all know I'm having a procedure on Tuesday, my kind of big procedure to deal with that. It's called a PFO, the hole in my heart that they discovered when I had the stroke back in December. So I've been trying to get things together in preparation for that at the house um, and being in Charlotte. The prep work for it, I have a CT angio something that happens tomorrow. So I'm in Charlotte and staying. I'll be staying in Charlotte for the majority of the week, so I don't have to do the back and forth since my tiny house is about 45 minutes outside of the city. Thank you, Crystal. So anyway, so I'm a little tired trying to stayed up late trying to get stuff together in the house, but June, we're in a new month, and I made a promise to a friend that I was going to prioritize my self-care this month and get myself together. So I am working on that. Key is saying good afternoon. Can't stay long. Just checking in with the Soul Collective family. Blessings to you, Jewel, for your upcoming surgery. Thank you so much, Key. I appreciate that. I hope you have a great Sunday. Thank you for checking in. Um, so that's what I've been doing, and I'm a little tired, but I promised I am going to focus more in June on um, my self-care. Judith is saying not only does she have beautiful style, she has beautiful earrings, necklace, rings, and glasses. Thank you. Thank you, Judith. I need to put my glasses on so I won't be over here squinting looking at the comments. Love Catching Blessings is saying, good morning, Jewel and friends. It's coffee time. Happy Sunday from beautiful Las Vegas. Can't wait to make it back to Southern California. Happy Sunday to you. Enjoy your coffee. Hello, Robert. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. You're in Indianapolis traveling. All right. I appreciate you. Safe travels to you. Thank you, High Vibe. I really appreciate that. Good morning, KM. Good morning. Good afternoon. Thank you, Teresa. I appreciate that. Thank you, Rosalind. I receive all of those prayers of comfort and healing. I appreciate that. So it's Tuesday, and starting tonight, I have to start taking some prep stuff for the CT scan that happens tomorrow, and then the surgery on Tuesday. And because they're using contrast dye, I have an allergy to contrast dye, so I have to start taking Benadryl. I think it's 8 o'clock this evening, and um, my system is really a punk, and Benadryl and I don't get along well. So I am going to be loopy for the next 2 to 3 days. So I am going to be sitting still somewhere, not making major decisions or doing any of those things since I'm going to be a lot loopy. Benadryl just does not work for my system. Benadryl or stuff like Tylenol PM, I can't take any of those. They really knock me out. So, um, but I also don't want hives and things that happen with contrast dye. So I got to take it. But anyway, I'm excited about June being here, even though it means we're halfway through this year. But I'm working on a personal reset, which is why I promised somebody I was going to work on my self care. I feel like I've been mentally, not necessarily physically running, but mentally running as I've been trying to figure out the what's next and what I'm doing, trying to grow my work versus having to return to corporate America and navigating this leave stuff. None of this stuff and I'm like, you don't really understand until you're in the middle of stuff how difficult it is. So, like this short term, long term disability, FMLA, all of the things, how difficult it is, and like it's not really explained well, and so stuff gets thrown at you. You got to figure out, and it's a lot of challenge, a lot of challenging stuff in it. I know my brain has been on overload and trying to deal with that, and then trying to figure out my personal work stuff that I want to do. And so I'm trying to really focus on a reset, and get my self care, my mental self care, and all of those things together going forward. Thank you, Linda. Um, Teresa saying use the dye-free one. It works better for me. The pink one makes me loopy. So whatever it is that I have to take is prescribed. It's a prescribed version of Benadryl, so I'm not exactly sure um, which one it is, but I already know it's gonna make me loopy. Um, so I'm just preparing to be loopy. Rosalind is saying I'm allergic to Benadryl too. I found a homeopathic remedy to prevent allergic reactions from food, and medication. Okay, I need to check into that. This is something that they've prescribed that I have to take since they'll be working with that contrast dye. And I really have like the more, if you have an allergy to it, the more you're exposed to it, seems like it almost gets worse, and that's um where I feel like I am. So I they have prescribed something for me for 2 days in a row. So if y'all want me to make major decisions, um, if you're trying to con me, now would be starting at 8 o'clock tonight would be the best time to try to con me because I'm going to be loopy. Um, Day is saying that beautiful smile indicates that the Lord has given you peace, and knowing Tuesday's procedure will be a great success. Thank you. Thank you. I am. Um, I trust that it's going to be a great success. Um, to say I'm not nervous would be a lie, and that's one thing I don't do is lie. But thank you. I trust that it's going to be a success, but I am a little nervous. Thank you very much. I appreciate that a lot. Um, so yes, um, for those of you who know Stephanie Perry from the Exodus Summit, Stephanie is coming down to babysit me, and so she'll be here tomorrow at 9 o'clock. Yes, absolutely, Rosalind. Thank you. So I need to connect with you to understand what it is that you found that you take. So Stephanie is in charge of babysitting me for the next few days, and will be going with me on Tuesday. Um, so yeah, that's what I'm doing. But anyway, so I hope that as we are hitting the middle of the year, and in our Patreon community, we've been focused on an accountability group. And I thought about that, Judith. Judith is saying, "Oh Lord, you should not have said that now, Robert." I thought about that as I was saying that he might have missed, he might have missed it. Um, yes, yes, I appreciate it. I appreciate her so much. It is very sweet of her to come down. And it was totally unexpected. We were talking about, um, we have a monthly group call, and we were on the call and we were talking about some other stuff. And I was telling her that I was making arrangements for the surgery. And so I kept trying to get them to, um, because I live out 45 minutes outside of Charlotte, and I was trying to get them to let me stay longer in the hospital, so nobody had to try to take me home or look out for me, or so I didn't have to inconvenience anybody here. And I was just talking to Stephanie about it, and she was like, "Oh, I'm going to come down." Um, and she just asked me for the dates. And the next thing I knew, she was planning to come down. And so it was it was surprising. It was, I won't say it's surprising. I felt like it was something that I would do. So I really appreciated that she did it, because I feel like that type of energy is rare. Um, but it's absolutely something that I would and have done. So I really, really appreciate it. It meant a lot when she volunteered to do that for me. And I'm excited for her to be here and to get to hang out with her. And so, for any of you all that are also members of the Exodus Summit group, there's a meetup on Thursday here in Charlotte. So if you're, the invite is in that the summit group, and um, if you can't find it, I'm in the summit group. So just tag me in the group and I'll help you find it. But it is on Thursday at six or 6:30. Hopefully I'll be able to make it. I'm not 100% sure, but hoping that I'll be able to make it. But Stephanie will be there for sure. Hi, Rachel. Yes, I'm excited too. Thank you, darling. I am excited. Um, Crystal is saying it's going to all be fine. I don't do negativity or what ifs anymore. I'm being more purposeful about my words and intentions with speaking into existence. Absolutely. That's the way I feel is important to move through life. So I agree with that 100%. Um, that I know it's going to be fine. But it still doesn't mean I'm not nervous about it. So it is my heart that they're messing with. High Bob says she's a godsend for sure. She is. Judith Robert was listening. Sandra. Hi, Sandra. Good day, Sandra. She is a beautiful, beautiful person. I'm glad that we have gotten to connect on a more personal friendship level, because she is she is funny and fun to be around. We went to Grenada a few months back. Well, she was in Grenada, and she was like, "You're not doing anything, so you should come to Grenada." And I did, and it was fabulous, and I had a really, really good time. Um, yes, BD, the sisterhood can be wonderful. Lean love into it. Um, I agree with that. It is. I appreciate the sisterhood. Some of it is, and she talks to me about this all the time, about letting people help you and being okay with that, because I'm usually the helper and not necessarily on the other end of being helped. And so um, I appreciate being on the other end of that. And I also, um, as I've gotten older, there's more of a struggle of um, recognizing that when people see you as the helper, that they don't. And I've talked about that here before. That they don't necessarily recognize that you need help too. And I'm not good at asking for help, because I've always been the helper, or I mean the help. Or I'm also not good at asking for help because oftentimes there is no one to help, or the help can be disappointing. Like, you can't, like when I finally do ask for help, it is because I really, really need some help. And then sometimes there's disappointment associated with that. So I think probably what is a trauma response is that you stop doing it because you don't want to get into that place of disappointment. And so I am trying to relearn some of that, and Stephanie always is a reminder to me of that. And I've listened to her one time on a live, and she was saying how if you can't be open to receiving help or receiving even like monetary support, then you don't see your in a community. If you're not open to that, then you don't see yourself as part of the community. You see yourself as the leader of the community, and not part of the community. And that kind of stuck with me because I don't I don't want to I hadn't ever thought of it that way, and how that possibly could be like even offensive to the community if you um, aren't actually part of or be acting as part of the community. So I try to remember that um, all of the uh, all the time as I'm struggling through that. So yeah. Crystal is saying I'm in the group, the Exodus Summit group, still trying to figure out any Virginia Beach, Hampton Roads area meetups. Yeah, there's an event section, and then sometimes you just kind of have to put a post in there to ask, are there any meetups? And people will say, I'm here, and you might even kind of take the lead in setting the meetup because they're not official meetups. It's just really ladies in the area getting together. I'm happy too. I'm really happy that, and she's just kind of taking care of everything. I keep asking her what she needs me to do, and she ignores my ignores my text messages. So I appreciate her for real. Um, I've had two major surgeries, and I know that prayer heals all things. Please know that this too shall pass. Oh, I absolutely believe that. Thank you, Teresa. I have had that conversation. I was actually having that conversation with my therapist, and it was kind of touching on what I was just talking about when you are the help and people aren't used to helping you, and we talked about that here too, because having had that mini stroke in December, and I feel like there and we were talking about that, like disabilities that you don't see, or illnesses that you don't physically see, and how people don't necessarily support or and I know like many years ago I had to, I think as a young person, maybe just really starting to drive and understanding like handicap parking, and when you expect that the person gets out of the car and should like be physically disabled, and as a young person then having to recognize that um, not all disabilities are visible. And so I feel like having had that mini stroke in December, that so many people um, expect you to be a certain way. And I'm trying to figure out the best way to say it. Like they expect you to have visible disabilities before they acknowledge that you had something happen, and it's not necessarily just trying to play in on sympathies, but um, there's an expectation. Oh, you okay? Kind of like when a kid falls and you're really trying to downplay it so that they don't go into full all out losing it because they've fallen and maybe skin up their knee. I kind of feel like it's almost like that, where you downplay it because the person doesn't look like they're going through anything. And so that's been a challenge for me because I almost sometimes feel like um, some people need you to look that way before, or to look visibly in distress before they can support and before they can help. And that's not the way it's supposed to be. And so it is just sometimes a challenge moving through spaces and dealing with people. So yeah. Um, Crystal was saying I've been watching some of Stephanie's videos. She has a lot of them, a lot of good information for sure. Thank you. I appreciate that, WLJ. Thank you so much. Rachel is saying you have a lot of prayer surrounding you and a caring sister spirit and Stephanie to be with you during this. I hope to be there Thursday. Always in spirit, peace, and love. I would love that. I hope you can be there Thursday as well. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Um, it's a it's a conversation happening um, with Robert. Um, Jay, Day just told him he has to speak to the entire community. Day, before we can even get to that, somebody has to meet Robert. Like, and Crystal is going to get him in just a few minutes, I'm sure. I think she has some steps that she's outlined to him before. So yeah. Hi, Rosebud. Happy Sunday to you. Happy Sunday. Oh, yeah, there. I knew Crystal was on. I knew Crystal was. All I had to do was scroll down. Hello, Delina. Welcome. Happy Sunday to you. Crystal said, "You have not been vetted. We know you, but we don't know you." Robert, I knew you were walking into some trouble. So you just walked into that trouble all by yourself. Hello, Frederick. Good day to you. I just messaged you earlier. I got you. I got your note. So absolutely. Wait a minute, Robert. Oh, Robert is pushing back. Robert said, "I ain't asking y'all nothing. I'm gonna snatch her up, marry her, and then on the next Sunday meeting, y'all gonna see." Oh, wow. Okay, that's a lot. That's a whole lot. All right, we're gonna move on. Robert is really gonna catch me on the Benadryl day. I'm assuming. Um, Teresa is saying, so when I pull out my handicap sign, I always have on my KT strip so nobody gives me the eye. And I think that's sad, Teresa. That I think that is really my point I just made. I knew you meant KT strips. I think that's sad that you even go through that to avoid somebody giving you the eye versus people just learning to mind their business and you go on about your business in the business that is your business. Like that's part of the that's exactly what I'm talking about right there. It's like you shouldn't feel any pressure to look a certain way to be able to take advantage of handicap parking. You you're entitled to handicap parking without other people's opinions. Um, Crystal is saying, totally get it. I have a joint condition. I'm in pain daily, but no one would know it. So when I do have more than I can tolerate, it's not necessarily taken seriously. I absolutely, and I think you helped me say it better. Like I feel like that is a lot of what happens when you don't look a certain way. People are like, oh, she's fine. Um, or maybe even like you're saying, is it not taken seriously or not even given the proper sympathy or empathy? Maybe it's empathy that I'm thinking of, because you don't look a certain way. So yeah. um, Robert is silly. Hi, Terry. Hey, everyone. Jewel, be strong and wait it out. We'll see you and Stephanie Thursday. I'm looking forward to that. Oh, you're coming back down. Robert just needs to quit. Robert wouldn't be Robert without entertaining us. Teresa's on him. Teresa said Robert needs to make an appearance, and Crystal is saying what you look like. Um, you all are funny. Good morning, Rumel. I hope I'm saying that right. Good morning to you. Welcome. There are a bunch of new names here. Hello, Montian. You subscribed after seeing me on Stephanie's live. I'm happy that you all are here. I'm happy that you all have found me through the live with Stephanie. Welcome to our community. This is our community conversation where we just kind of really share. We talk about whatever. I still do answer tiny house questions and things in this chat. Sometimes we just kind of are chatting on this Sunday if I don't have a guest or a prepared topic. So welcome to all of the new folks. We appreciate you being here. Um, Oh, hi, Bob is saying my mother had a handicap plaque when she was in her 70s then, and another senior called her out. Like, why can't folks mind their business? That's exactly what I was just saying. Mind the business that pays you. Like, who, if somebody's parking in a handicap spot and you feel like they're not supposed to, or they're not supposed to, then that's on them, and that's for them to deal with the things that come from that. But folks just cannot mind their business. Hi, Delina. Thank you so much. Happy Sunday. Rosalind is saying, on the days I don't feel good, I park in handicap parking and wish somebody would look at me crazy. Just somebody give you a reason. Um, Judith is saying, our Jewel is smiling like we are used to seeing. What a good family we have here today. Absolutely. I appreciate that because this is the energy that I need as well. So I appreciate you all making me laugh and smile. Teresa is saying that's why DEI is so important. It is. And I feel like society itself is just so um I don't know if crass is the word I want to use, like non-caring. And as they're trying to take the DE and I work out of everything, they're actually doing it. I was just reading recently how the UNC system is removing it from their curriculum and getting rid of entire departments, and so. Um, it's not like the work of DE and I was even completely done, so we can't even hope that folks have it, and the tools just are being removed. We know folks don't even have it, like they weren't getting it. I had this conversation with an HR leader recently with something that had come up with work, and um, they were trying to tell me it was something that happened, and they were trying to tell me that I should go have a conversation with that person to explain to them how and why what they had said and done, how it was offensive to me as a black woman. And I was like, no, that's not my role. Like I'm not in the DE and I space here. And I feel like as I have to go have a conversation with somebody that does something offensive, that's harming me twice. So you've already done something offensive. Now I got to go have a conversation with you to tell you how what you've done was offensive, for you to potentially deny and not want to listen and all of the things. So that's like just causing my continued harm to myself. So I'm not doing that. Um, and we, I was mentioning to the fact that at this organization, the DE and I courses and things were not required. And so it was kind of up to the person at the organization to go choose to voluntarily take some of those courses. And I mentioned how, nobody's going to do that. Like, if that's not their experience, it is a rare person that is going to go sign up for some extra their free time to go take some courses to learn about DE&I. It's just not going to happen. And so she was saying that their approach to it was that they didn't want to make it mandatory because they didn't want to make people feel like they had to take it. And it's just like, I feel like that is coming from corporate leadership, which is not probably DE&I versed, so they don't want to force people to take it. So they try to make it optional, but nobody's going to take it. Like, it's a lose lose, and the expectation is the people that are being caused harm are should also explain how you've caused me harm, and so it's just an effort in insanity for me. But it is so many things that are learned in those sessions, and disabilities and race and all of the things that people need to know to be able to be better people, and we so need that. But yeah, it's a shame that you see it being removed, and as well as history. Like anyway, I'm not going to talk about that more. Rosalind is saying run. Um, Darlene is saying, put us all on a Zoom call with Robert. Robert needs to join the Patreon community, where we do have Zoom calls, so we can see what Robert is talking about. But so we do have Zoom calls in the Patreon community if anybody's interested in joining over there. Right now, we have an accountability group that we're working on, and have been working this last month on keeping us all together. Oh, thank you. I'm glad I said your name right. Thank you, Crystal. So yeah, we need Robert to get on in there so we can see him, and see what's going on. Thank you, Crystal. Like, sub, share, support, all of the things. Thank you for the reminder. Teresa is saying, welcome everybody. Please join in our collective. Thank you all so much for being here. Um, um, Hi, B. How are you? Good to see you. I messaged you the other day when you were trying to get in, not this week before last, when you were trying to get in on the accountability session. I shared the link, but I didn't hear from you. So we aren't meeting this week, because I'm out of pocket with my surgery, but we are together again. Um, the Not this week, next week. I don't want to lie and tell a date. But we're not. The dates are in the Patreon, so we will be getting together. Um, Chris, Crystal is saying no. We need an in-person vetting session, but we can have the Zoom for the kickoff. Darlene, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you for joining. No, Robert. Hold up. Y'all don't trust me. Absolutely not, Robert. You just show up in the chats. We do not trust you. You have to you it's so and there is Crystal. Short answer, absolutely no. We're gonna need more than this. Huh? This is hilarious. And I agree. Why should that burden be on the harmed person? I agree, Teresa, and that's exactly what I told the HR person. I've been harmed by the action and what was said, and now you're asking me to go harm myself more and explain to the person who caused the harm how they harmed me, for them to just most likely deny that they did, or maybe even cry, because the next thing is folks get to crying. So no, absolutely not. I agree. Um, Frederick is saying, I caught up on the last two videos. Jewel got my 8 tips and your plans to move. Oh, excellent, excellent, excellent. So I look forward to, so part of, as being part of the Patreon community, you also get, depending on your level, you also get discounts for merchandise and discounts, or access, to certain events and consultations. So Frederick and I will be meeting soon on a consultation as part of um, the Patreon community. So I look forward to talking to you. Absolutely. What is the point if it's optional? The organization should take a position or don't bother. Right. That's who's volunteering to go sign up for some DE&I courses because they don't really care, because it's not their experience. Absolutely. I agree with that 100%. All right, good people. Part of my accountability in the Patreon was I am working on a couple of things that I'm going to share one of them. So two initiatives that I have, the cooperative communities, which you all know about, and I'm supposed to be dropping that link. That is the member, I was supposed to, I know I can't do two things at one time. That is the site for the membership for folks who are looking for tiny house parking and for people who have land for tiny housers. That is Cooperative Communities. That's going to be launching very soon. So there's a on the site you can put your name on the wait list if you haven't already. So you'll be notified when that is launching. So that's one of the things on my accountability list with the group that I've been working on. So I am wrapping that one up. And then also, collective communities is the other piece of the work that I've been doing, which is the work toward actually building tiny house communities, and that is the direction that I've spoken about. You know, building figurative community here, Patreon in the work that I do with the folks, with you all. It is not. Oh, sorry. Thank you. Let me get that right. Hold on. And then let's see if this works better. There you go. Thank you, Crystal. And then, um, so Collective Communities is that organization. And um, part of the work with Collective Communities is what I was saying, the actual building of physical communities, the work that I want to do. Also, a lot of education, um, education with officials, workshops with officials as we work toward changing zoning requirements and the process, the rules around building tiny houses. So that's part of the education piece of it. And then working with people who have land and are interested in building tiny house communities. Also working with churches and I lost my word. Churches and faith organizations, that's what I was looking for, who have surplus land, underutilized parking lots, all of the things that want to also be good community partners in offering housing in addition to the faith work that they're doing. And there are a few states that are working to really make it easier for churches to do that type of thing, in relaxing the rules, or not necessarily the rules, the requirements, I should say, for churches to not have to go through the long, arduous process that is often required for this. And so a lot of states are doing that. And I attended last week. There was a housing seminar put on here in Charlotte with a bunch of faith organizations, and there were a lot of case studies that some of these organizations shared that they've already started doing this work, and so they've have land that they're either doing like land leases for tiny houses, so the people don't actually own the land, but they have housing on the land, so that's a land lease, or where some of these organizations have actually sold their land to developers to create housing in the affordable housing space. And so it was an excellent event last Thursday. And Collective Communities is the organization that I am standing up to do this work. I'm going to drop the link to that. I have been working on all of the things to get it together, and it is not a nonprofit organization. My intent is to get it certified as a B Corp organization, and B Corp certification. So in some states that is a designation, just like a nonprofit or a LLC, an LLC. It is not an option here in North Carolina, but um, um, Clarinda from Green Heifer Farms is the I think she's the first Black woman farmer who has the B Corp designation, and so a B Corp um, designation or certification is also around social and environmental impact, but it's a designation for profit organizations, and so that is what I intend to work on, to have that designation for um, the collective communities, because I do want it to be a for-profit organization, but obviously it's focused on historically underserved communities and socially disadvantaged communities, and um, communities that are focused on um, being better for the environment, tiny houses overall. And so that's what I will be pursuing for this organization. And so, yeah, I will be, it's an organization that I own, but I will be collaborating with others to do this work, and to so you'll see that as you look at the website. Still pulling it all together, but it is up and running, and I've been having a lot of these conversations, and so this is kind of the formal piece of it, to pull it all together. So for those of you in the Patreon accountability group, I've checked that one off my list, and now I've got to come for my my last one before my time runs out, to get the cooperative communities on that launch too. All right. So Cynthia's saying driving it will be well with your procedure. Spoke to Mr. Dixon. When you are available, we would like you to come to speak to our agencies. Absolutely, absolutely, would love to. Thank you very much for following up on that. You just let me know. I am good, and I am available starting next week. So I would love to do that. Thank you. So yes, so I want to share the collective communities. I am going to be, for those of you who follow Tiny House Trailblazers, I am going to be, I guess I'll say, repurposing that space thank you, Crystal, for the collective communities. It is still very, very much focused on representation um, in the Black and Brown communities. That is the work that I'm always going to represent, and so I feel like I don't feel like it is replacing Tiny House Trailblazers. It is repurposing the work that has been done for holding space and representing within the tiny house movement. And then this is, um, as I can share my screen. It is the this is it. The mission of the collective communities is moving the tiny house movement forward from individual solutions for affordable housing into the building of resilient communities that address collective needs. And so this is what I have been saying, that I felt like was just the natural progression of the work that I want to do. Still helping people get to tiny house ownership. Thank you, Linda. Have a great Sunday. Thank you so much. Get to individual tiny house ownership, like we still doing that, and I know that not everybody has their tiny house yet, but and so still helping and doing that, but then also working toward moving from just individual solutions into communities that work for our collective good, that work on collective needs. And so this is kind of what I was saying. Through the work is going to be through education, advocacy, collaboration and partnership. So building safe and inclusive and attainable and equitable communities, and making sure that we are in this conversation and representing the building of these communities, and using tiny house communities where people are talking about, the missing middle housing, or the fact that the housing inventory and supply isn't meeting demand, which is why we are in so much of this affordable housing crisis. But if we don't talk about the opportunities that tiny houses and tiny house communities bring to that conversation, immediate inventory in the smaller houses where we have spaces that can't be used in the single family home conversation. And so there's so much opportunity that is there for using the use of tiny houses. And so that is the next progression of the work that I am planning to do, and have some fabulous collaborators that I will be working with. And so more to come on that. I just wanted to share that I had gotten that up, and so you'll be hearing a lot more from that. Thank you, Crystal. You'll be hearing a lot more on that, and possibly just having like a group conversation with everybody that's going to be involved, or the key players that are going to be involved in this work. Thank you, Robert. Hey, Noah. And so, yeah, so a lot of education. We will be talking, still helping folks, like I said, get to building tiny house 101, 201, all of that work, but also then moving it to the building of education around building communities, education around how to have those advocacy conversations, um, how to put the package together to present for the request for creating a tiny house community. Talking about the different types of tiny houses. So I'm always focused on tiny houses on wheels, and we'll continue that. But a lot of this work also has to include tiny houses on foundation, because that really is what is allowed right now. We're still trying to transition to get the wheels to be allowed, and so doing work in both of those spaces, and talking about ADUs, and again, you all know ADUs is the home that's in the back of a traditional home, the smaller space that is allowed in a lot of areas for tiny houses. And so there'll be a lot of education and work and conversation around all of that. So that is coming. So thank you, and I can't wait to share it. Crystal is saying the accountability group has been awesome for me. I've got 2 of my 3 things done and ready to launch. Can't wait to see the success they bring. I'm excited for you. So Crystal again is talking about our part of our Patreon community. So for those of you who aren't familiar with Patreon, so it allows us to kind of gather in a more, so YouTube is out here for everybody. Um, Patreon is more of a collective community. It is a more of a safe space, and so we can talk about things that are more personal and contained. And we also have Zooms, so that everybody can connect and we can be in conversation versus me just talking to you guys. So we gather monthly in a Zoom call, and then we this past month have been doing an accountability weekly session. So that is what Crystal is speaking to. Thank you, Teresa. I appreciate that. And repurpose is good. Thank you. Hey, Damaris. I'm thinking I'll see you on Thursday. So yes, those are the things that I am working on, and then reminder that next Sunday we will have a guest. Next Sunday we'll be talking to Deidre from Poplar Creek, the tiny house community that is being developed. It is a Black-owned tiny house community that is being developed. I think it's about an hour and a half from Charlotte, maybe not that far. But we'll be talking about it, and it's in process now. So we'll be talking to Deidre um, from Poplar Creek next Sunday here. All right, good people. That's all I got. We got 5 minutes to one. I thank you all for joining, for supporting, for being here. I'm always grateful that even when I don't have a planned conversation, that we have some great conversation, and I appreciate you all so much for joining and being part of this community and participating and helping that conversation flow. Okay, Damaris. All right. I'm going to make sure I don't see anything else in here that I need to check before we check off for the Sunday. I hope everybody has a great Sunday. And I will hopefully see some of you all this week. As long as all of my stuff goes well and I feel up to it, I will see some of y'all on Thursday. I will see some of y'all on the socials. And Cynthia, thank you. I look forward to connecting with you all. Hopefully next week we can connect. And if you need me, I think most of you all know how to connect with me. Make you a saying, just join Patreon. Okay, thank you. I look forward to that. Thank you, Crystal. I look forward to connecting with you in that community. And Crystal is reminding you before the live ends, hit the like, subscribe, and share button so that you can support, so that YouTube will feel like this is a great video to share around. So thank you. Terry is saying, sent you info on the couple in Jackson with tiny homes on IG. Okay. All right. Thank you. Did I look? Okay. Let me check. I kind of seems like we talked about it. Maybe I didn't respond to you. I'll look at it. Thank you, Terry. And then I'll look forward to seeing you this week. Thank you, Judith. I appreciate that so much. Thank you, Teresa. Question: do you have a physical mailing address where you receive mail, or did you have to get a P.O. box? So I always have a UPS store box. And I do that because because I'm on somebody else's property with my tiny house. I don't want to connect myself with that landowner's address in their property. So I always get an address at the UPS store. And I do the UPS store versus a P.O. box so that I can get boxes. The P.O. box, United States Post Office P.O. box, you can't receive packages. And so that is why I do the UPS store address. All right. The t-shirts are nice. I'm glad you think so. I'm glad you got one. Can't wait to see you Thursday either, Terry. Thank you so much. All right. Happy Sunday, good people. Let me do my closing. Let me find my right pictures over here. So these automatic lights are just, they come on and go off when they feel like it. So that always throws me off. Let me do my closeout if I can find my picture. Let me see. I think it's something else in the chat. I changed my screen. Sorry, y'all. As you all see me navigate this space. Here we go. Let's see. After your procedure, do we wait until next Sunday to know you're okay? I am praying for. No, so if you follow me on the socials, I'll send you all a thumbs. I'll let you know on Wednesday on Instagram. So thank you for asking. I will and maybe I'll send a note here, but I might be still loopy. So, but I'll send the a sign that I am okay. Yes, WLJ. Thank you. I'm glad that makes sense. And I appreciate that. I hope you will join us in Patreon. Thank you, Delina. I appreciate you. All right, good people. Happy Sunday to you all. Have a great week. Thank you for joining here, and I'll talk to you soon. All right. Please be sure to like and share the video. Turn on the notifications so that you'll know when stuff is going live so that you can be here. Thank you, Frederick. I'll talk to you soon. And happy Sunday. Have a great week, and we will talk soon. Uh, Robert is silly. All right, everybody. Happy Sunday. Take care.